Great. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce a candidate for mayor of the great city of Detroit, Michigan. I was watching Facebook, and I watched a video that went viral in less than 3 weeks. It was close to 4 million views. Lord have mercy. The one and only, the only one, Mr. Coleman Alexander Young II. How are you, sir?
Always a pleasure to be here with you. Hey, Mr. Murray. I'm on the Skeeter Murray show, man. This is awesome right
real
here.
Talk,
man.
real talk. We got to keep it real.
Every day.
So take me back to February 2017.
Yeah.
That's when you decided to officially run for mayor.
Right.
What prompted you to do that?
I want to run because I think it's a shame before God we got billions of dollars flowing through downtown. Right. Our kids don't have no recreational centers.
Right.
We got billions of dollars flowing through downtown, and this many people are unemployed. You got billions of dollars flowing through downtown, and we in the most violent and the poorest city in America.
Exactly.
There's a biblical verse that says, I'm a young and I've been old, but I've never seen the righteous forsaken or begging for bread.
Wow.
I've seen too many people had to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. That's why I want to raise the minimum wage. We in the Great Lakes state.
Right.
We provide over 20% of the fresh surface water to the country.
That is true.
And 1 out of 6 people in the city of Detroit ain't got water in their house.
Are you kidding?
Over 100,000 water shutoffs. The most water shutoffs in United States history. So out of all this, that's why I decided to run, because I want to put our people back to work, rebuilding our roads, rebuilding our infrastructure. I want to make sure the corporations pay their fair shares when it comes to water bills. That's why I'm running. And I want to keep people safe.
Absolutely.
We got too many of our children being shot down in these streets.
Oh, yeah.
We got too many fathers burying their daughters. Too many mothers burying their sons. A parent should never have to bury a child.
Never.
And that's what we got going right now. That's why I'll make sure we have police officers walking the beat again.
Right.
Police mini stations in the neighborhood. And I'm also going to sue the state to make sure that we bring residency back.
Wow.
So police officers actually live in the city where they work at. Because how you going to have community police and none of the police live in the community?
You know, and I believe that that's a great idea, having city police that live there. And not necessarily, see, I think the great thing about that is that once you have a community and you have police that people are familiar with, then it doesn't matter what color you are. If that police officer is becoming familiar with that community, I think it's very important, right? So day one of your administration, you've been elected mayor. What's the job like day one?
Well, the first thing that I want to do is I want to start focusing on putting people back to work, whether it be through community benefits agreements, making sure those are legally binding contracts between the developer and the community to be able to make sure that we can put people back to work. And if they don't hire Detroiters first, and if they don't invest in the communities, they can be taken to court and sued.
Wow.
That's what we trying to do. And that could be a community group, it could be a block club, it could be a church group, it could be a nonprofit, can be a neighborhood organization, whatever, ecumenical group, or no, school group, whatever have, environmental group, whatever have you. Also, what I want to do is I want to take the money that we have, the home funds, I want to take the Hope 6 funds, that's money for distressed housing, the home funds for affordable housing, and I want to build it, invest it in the neighborhoods. I want to convince the pension board to invest in the neighborhood as well, and we take that money, we put people back to work. I also want to make sure that when we're doing this, that we adhere to Section 3 of HUD, which says that if you build affordable housing with federal dollars, you have to hire Detroiters in the neighborhood.
Exactly.
And that way we put people back to work, man. That's what I'm trying to do. Also, we should have a transitional jobs program where you actually have temporary jobs that come along with job training, and expand the apprenticeship program so we can have more people being able to learn skills, you know, while they're trained to get a job in the future, so they can be journeymen, so they can be licensed plumbers, electricians, and things of that nature. These are things that we should be doing, and we should also partner up with Detroit Public Schools and Detroit Employment Solutions Corporation, as well as the skilled trades unions, to be able to teach these kids skilled trades in the schools.
In the schools. Now we all know that with schooling and with technology taking over like it has, technology is the future. Always has been, but now it's evolving into a whole new area, like technology in terms of drones, technology in terms of just basic technology that we require, social media, droning technology that's not labor. Where do we get the funding for that to teach our kids that?
Well, I think what we should be doing is, one, I think that in terms of job training, we should definitely be able to work with the people that we have here now, work with nonprofits, work with the labor force that we have here, skilled trades, and we should encourage the unions to be able to build job training centers in the city of Detroit.
Exactly.
These are things that I think that we should be able to do in order to get that done. We should have traditional jobs programs available, transitional jobs programs available for people. These are some of the things that I think that we can do in order to promote these things and get these things done. I think through partnerships, that's going to be the better way in order to do that. I think through partnerships, through nonprofits and things of that nature. And also, I think for pay for performance or social bonding as well.
Pay for performance.
I think these are some of the ways that we can use in order to provide, revenue for these social ills that we seek in terms of job training and job opportunities.
Now, can you explain the pay for performance? How exactly does it work?
Well,
without giving too much information.
Well, not too much information, but basically how it works is it's like a social bonding thing where basically you would provide money, you would borrow money from the social, from the financial markets in order to provide solutions to social problems.
Gotcha.
And then depending on the performance of that social, of whether or not it would, it fixes that problem or not, these are money that would be available for that purpose.
Okay.
Because that's basically how that works and how that goes.
So is that a reward system for academic achievement, or is that just a?
I think, well, primarily that's just for social problems. That could be for more
social.
police. That could be for more other issues. These are some of the things that I think that we should be able to do to get that done.
How do you get that? How do you get more police? Because you said earlier you want to see the police actually walking the beat again. How do you get the funding for that?
Well, what I want to do is I want to go through Justice Burn grants. I think those are money that's provided from the federal government as well as smarter policing.
Absolutely.
In order to make sure Justice Burn grants, we're going to make sure that we have more innovations within the police department in terms of walking the beat again. I'm also going to issue probably about $1 or try to work with the state to issue $1 or $2 per ticket to these sports arena games that we have going on here, so we can hire more police officers and put them on the street. I think that's something that we want to do.
That's a great plan. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think these are things that we want to do, as well as work with the federal government through smarter policing in order to make sure that we can provide money available for either hire more police officers, also for taser, also for body cameras and things of that nature as well. I know we already have one now, but we want to do that further. So these are some of the things and some of the revenue mechanisms that we're going to use to be able to make sure that we put more police officers on the street and put them out there.
Which is important.
It's very important.
Because I think every conversation that we're having, it's centered around police. I mean, we are going to go there. We're going to talk about what is happening, currently our situation in the country, where we are with regards to police and abuse and things of that nature. But having the right type of, when you say diversity, and I believe I heard you say diversity.
And also, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure too, we also want to make sure that we get money from the federal government in terms of getting shot spotter technology.
Okay.
So that's technology that basically uses acoustics or sound to be able to determine where these crimes are happening and be able to have faster response time as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And,
so that's new technology.
Yeah, that's new technology that we should be using in order to respond as well. So we want to make sure we have more police on the street. We also want to make sure that we use technology in the proper way. And we also should partner up with the hospitals, because people who are gunshot victims are more than 50% more likely to become gunshot perpetrators next time. So we should partner with the hospitals to provide wraparound services like job training and also, behavioral therapy for people who need, treatment after being shot, because being shot is a traumatic experience.
It's a traumatic
so if you need that type of, treatment for PTSD or whatever else, we should be able to provide that type of cognitive behavioral therapy for people who are going through that as well as also having a homicide review commission, so that we could also review these homicides and why they're happening, as well as reach out to the Office of the Center of Disease Control to make sure that we can find more data in terms of the root causes of why this violence is happening within the social problems, whether it be educational, whether it be economic, whether it be social economic, whatever the case may be. We can find the root cause, whether it be health problems, whether it be poverty. We can find the root causes of these problems, and we can be able to provide solutions to be more proactive in terms of preventing crime.
Wow. Okay.
Treat violence like a virus.
Absolutely. So now, for the people who said you didn't have a plan, 'cause let's be honest.
Yeah.
People will say, well, he just ran because he's the former mayor's son.
He's told
and
me
got a name.
And with all the great things that he did, there would be no problem with that. You know what I'm saying?
But you just laid out a point-by-point plan and just layered a plan. So you do have a plan.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the difficult part.
Yeah.
You're running against a machine.
Yeah.
You're running against a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
You're aware of that. And I'm sure he has a treasure chest of funding.
Yeah.
How do you compete with that? How do you, because basically what it comes down to a voter going in and deciding to vote for you.
Right.
With all this new information, because, brother, you are trending. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Nationally, you're trending.
Yeah.
How do we transfer the national trending that you're currently going through to local votes in the city of Detroit? How do we do that?
Well, first of all, let me say David slew Goliath with 5 smooth stones. So I ain't got no problem cutting this giant's head off. Let me say that, one. Secondly, let me just say that what we plan on doing is he may have millions of dollars, but we're going to have thousands of voices.
There you go.
And we're going to get out there and bring our message to the people,
Okay.
whether it's grassroots, door knocking,
Yeah.
whether it's going to senior citizen buildings. I just came from a senior citizen building today.
Really?
Whether it's riding the bus, whether it's going to certain events and getting out there, whether it's going to block clubs.
Wow.
These are things that we're doing day to day, just basic, building blocks of a campaign, of grassroots campaign. We're also going out there and we're having mailers and things of that nature that we're doing. We're also having fundraisers. We're having little events and things of that nature that we're doing. We're also online and using social media.
Right.
We're going out there and getting our message out there.
Absolutely.
Like you just said, I had a speech about race that got 4 million views.
4 million.
So that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And I think
That's
we continue to keep
crazy.
doing this and building on that.
Absolutely.
I was just on the Breakfast Club not too long
Absolutely.
ago. So that was
Yeah.
good. So we just keep doing what we're doing.
Right.
And keep doing it the way that we're doing it.
Okay.
I think that we're gonna see big things happen. So I'm very blessed. I'm very excited.
Listen, I am. When people say, "Well, you need to really talk to him," and people, I'm not politically active. But
Yeah.
you are probably. I can give you credit for someone who has re-engaged my political fires, my
Good.
interest.
Good.
And I think it was that most compelling speech that you made on the Senate floor.
Yeah.
Now, can you just please take us to your mindset
Sure.
the day of?
The day of the speech, I'm on the floor, and my colleagues, Republicans on the other side of the aisle, a guy by the name of Rick Jones, senator, gets up, and he starts, there's a the Michigan State Police Director, E2, I think it's Catherine E2 or Kibbe E2. Basically, she said that people who were Black Lives Matter, people who were kneeling during the flag, were all degenerates. Wow. And so he called just dehumanizing black people.
That's
what they're doing. That's just dehumanizing the black people.
Degenerates?
And this is the head of the state police. So the person who runs the state police, a state, that's the mentality that she has.
So if you okay,
let me finish it. I'll give you. So Rick Jones
yes,
gets up and starts defending this behavior and says that what she said was okay because it was her private email. And so I mean, at first I would listen to this and I'm thinking it's a joke. When I literally had to kind of stop myself from laughing, like, this guy cannot be serious. She just said one of the most offensive and one of the most inflammatory and racist things
right.
I ever heard. Forget defending what she's saying. She shouldn't have a job.
Listen, we are in a climate.
Period.
Are we not in a climate where a lot of things are now coming out and people are saying things that they've always felt, but now they feel more empowered to say these things?
Well, because of Trump's election, absolutely. I think that a lot of people feel this way and are coming out this way and are saying these things, but it's not okay.
It's not
all right. And you cannot be the head of the state police
now
and have that type of mentality about African American people.
Wow.
And this is the problem that we have when you have folks in key positions who are interested in demonizing and bastardizing African Americans, who are interested in dehumanizing black people, in weaponizing their dissent and criminalizing their presence, just their existence. And I think that type of mentality is what we're facing with right now.
Let me ask you this question. Now, with regards to degenerates, now, are these people who are kneeling? Kneeling.
But they're not saying nothing.
Yeah, but
one thing, they got a blowhorn and start saying something during the flag.
Okay.
But they kneeling.
Now, she's saying just the people who are kneeling.
Just the people who are kneeling are degenerates.
But does she know that kneeling is Colin Kaepernick? He is, I believe, he is the this stir that started this whole thing. He officially began sitting for the national anthem until he met with a war hero. And the war hero explained to him, you should not sit, you should kneel. Kneeling is paying homage and honoring. Because soldiers kneel for a fallen soldier. They kneel for kneeling is paying
tribute. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so it's ironically because there is a video out right now with Colin Kaepernick, and it talks about what he learned in the war hero, the white war hero, and how he met Colin Kaepernick, and he told him, hey, look, kneel, because that shows you're honoring the flag. So that's a whole different narrative. And so now I think she needs to know, whoever this young lady is, she needs to understand, maybe watch that video and understand what kneeling represents. And then again, I think people are losing the message. And I'll let you go ahead, but just like the Black Lives Matter, how that's become such a negative connotation, is being viewed as with such negativity. Of course, explain to me how that passionate speech you made, because to me, that's what motivated me to reach out to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, brother.
Absolutely.
Let me just say, first of all, I don't think that Ms. Etu needs to learn anything. I think she needs to just resign her position.
Okay.
She can learn what she wants on her own time.
That's fair.
One. Secondly, though, so for me, it was that.
Yes.
Then it was two other Republicans who got up and started talking about, what they need to do and how it's disrespectful to the flag. And so when I started hearing this, I just know what black people have sacrificed for this country.
Absolutely.
At the first sacrifice for America, and which was the spark plug of its revolution, was a man by the name of Crispus Attucks, who was an African-American slave, former slave. The fact that black people have done so much for this country, whether it was the clock, the almanac, the baby buggy, the shoe lasting machine, the air conditioning unit, the golf tee, all these things that black folks have invented, the traffic light, the gas mask, all these things that black folks have done. And the carbon filament, the light foam, the telephone, because Lewis Latner drew the blueprints for the telephone and the carbon light bulb, the filament for the carbon filament for the light bulb. Yeah, and we're in Detroit. It's the home of Elijah McCoy, who was where the real McCoy came from, because he invented a lubrication system for trains and for steam engines, which made them run more effectively and brought America to the forefront of the industrial revolutionary age.
Wow.
So for black people to have done all this and for them to be totally forgotten, every time you eat a peanut butter sandwich, George Washington Carver, invented peanut butter.
Wow.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Every time I eat a peanut butter.
Yeah, every time you eat a peanut butter, that's George Washington Carver.
I never
George Crumb invented potato chips. That's the black man.
You know what?
Every time you eat Lay's potato chips, you say thank you to him.
Wow.
So, I mean,
that's my next lunch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, that's my lunch all the time. That's the problem. I look like this. But, to have all that, to do all that, then you think about slavery.
Yes.
And you think about what was built on the backs of black folks.
Right.
And the fact that they were built not just through slavery, but also after it ended through convict leasing.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Where they put black folks in jail to rebuild the country. And then leased out those slaves leased out their prisoners to rebuild the country, because slavery never ended; it just changed places. It went from the plantation yard to the prison yard.
To the prison yard, exactly.
So to have all that, and to not have reparations for it, and to know that America would not be what it is today if it were not for the contributions and the struggles and sacrifices and bloodshed and death of black people.
Hello.
That America's freedom is built on the extinction of black souls and the bones of black bodies.
Wow.
For them to then suggest that somehow we can't kneel during the flag. Right. You're like, if it wasn't for our sacrifice, there'd be no country, let alone a flag.
Let me ask you this.
So that's what made me go off.
But no, it wasn't going off. What you did was, it was eloquent. What you did was powerful.
Thank you.
What you did was stirring, and it was moving. And I think it triggered something in people. 4 million views is a testament to that.
It is.
I mean,
Listen.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at you differently because I never. And I'll be honest with you, I'm probably one of those people that thought, I don't know if he has a cachet to be the mayor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you came here and you laid out this plan, and it put me in the mindset of some of the things that Obama used to do in the administration when he had a plan, and then the Republicans would just beat up on the plan, but they didn't have a plan, but they just their goal was to beat up on his plan. So to hear you lay out your plan like that, and on top of hearing you make that compelling speech, it got people like me, who wasn't involved in politics at all, listening, curious, motivated, interested in you, finding out more about you. And I just truly thank you for taking the time out to come here and to share this amazing journey that you're on. So on the Senate floor, can you just give us a taste of that? You've already laid out.
Yeah.
But where were you at that day?
I mean, look, man, I was just at a point where, I was just tired of what was happening and what was going on. And that's why I just said what I said. When, as a black man, can I speak out? And, I march, you condemn me. I kneel, you condemn me. I talk in the public square, you condemn me. I tweet about it, you condemn me. When can I speak out as a black person? And we're not speaking out because we're just saying things mean just to be mean. They killing our children.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look at Detroit right now with young Damon Grimes.
Yes.
He was murdered for riding an ATV. He was tased for violating the civil infraction and killed. And they still investigating it. A police officer cannot fire a taser or any discharge of weapon, from a moving vehicle. That is a murder. Plain and simple. And I don't care who you are, police officer or you a citizen, cop or crook. If you kill our children and break the law, you go to jail. Period.
How do we?
But when you don't do that, you're devaluing and dehumanizing black life, and that's what I don't understand. And I had just come from his funeral not too long ago, so that was still fresh in my mind.
I'm sure.
And I had hugged the mother and felt her and felt folks crying, so that was still fresh in my mind. So when they were saying this stuff, I was like, what are they talking about?
Right.
I mean, are you serious right now?
I mean, is it just a lack of accountability or a lack of concern?
Both. Either pick one. I mean, it's pick both, all the above. I mean, it's just people just don't give a damn about our young black people like they should, and it's wrong. We need to hold folks to account, and we should have independent prosecute. And I have this bill that does that. That has independent prosecutions of these police officers. Because right now, they're way too cozy with the Wayne County Police, or they're too cozy with the county prosecutors because they work with each other to solve crimes, and they should, rightfully so. But, we need independent prosecutors to make sure these cops are held to account, the ones that do wrong. Now, listen, I'm not saying that all police officers are bad.
Oh, no, not at all.
And I shouldn't have to explain that all police officers are bad, because I think to explain that is basically it's disrespectful to police officers, because we all know this isn't something that most police officers do.
I've got two of my closest friends are police officers, and I mean high up.
Yeah.
And these brothers carry themselves with respect, with dignity. I have a white police officer who is older, retired. He's a friend. What I don't think we have to explain. I think we spend so much time defending that we change the narrative. Black Lives Matter was never intended to say white lives don't matter.
No.
Asian lives don't matter.
No.
It was only to say what?
Only to say that Black Lives Matter, that we have value, that we have meaning. Treat us the same way you treat everybody else. We want y'all to love us as much as we love you and love this country. That's all we want. That's equal justice under the law.
How do we get it?
Well, I think right now we got to get it by one. We got to demand it. I think secondly, we got to start passing laws for independent prosecutions. I think we need to start passing more, lowering the bar in terms of prosecuting these officers.
Absolutely.
I also think that we need to start having better training. I also think we need to have body cameras, and they need to be on so we can be transparent in terms of what's going on.
And if they're not on, if they're not on and something happens that's shady.
Yeah, it's shady.
Then
there needs to be investigations.
Absolutely.
Needs to be fines and things of that nature going into this. Because we can't, we just can't keep having this.
No, we can't.
We cannot keep having this. But I'm gonna tell you like this, people need to be prosecuted. The only real way it's gonna stop is if you start prosecuting people and putting people in jail. That's the only real way.
That is the only way.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can talk about laws and changing things and training. In some instances, it is training. There's people who need to be trained. But it's also that, and it's also the fact that institutional racism exists. The institutional bias exists. And I think we need to start not just having police officers talk to people who are training, but also we need to start having people who are from academia, who are professors, who are, who like Kimberly Crenshaw in terms of critical race theory and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? In terms of people who are talking about, examining, racism in the institution and how it is in our structures and educating people and understanding people so they understand that, so they know about this. But I also think, like I said, we got to have residency laws too.
Yeah.
Because if you know who these folks are.
If you know who they are.
Yeah. And we also need to start being more aggressive in terms of recruiting and also hiring, I think, African Americans and brothers and sisters to be police officers.
Yeah.
I think if we could do those things, I think we can make a difference.
Well, I think we need to make a difference. Clearly, I think, we're on the right. I don't want to say we're on the right track because what we have to do, the job ahead of us, is a very real job.
Right.
And it has to begin. Someone has to initiate this movement and have to stay and stick through the movement.
Right.
And not just allow the media to die down and the story to die down and then we restart this whole cycle all over again.
Yeah.
So we do need change.
We do.
We do need change. So really, really quickly, can you tell me the difference between your campaign as mayor and the current mayor's campaign? What is the difference between?
Well, I'm the only one in this race that's not under investigation for bid rigging and colluding. I can tell you that. Oh, wow. I'm the only one that's in this race that's not under investigation for criminal action, both on the federal level and on the state level for falsifying documents for taking out asbestos from homes that they said they did not do. So I'm the only one that could speak clearly about being ethically ready for this position. Because not only did he bid rig and collude, he admitted to bid rigging and colluding on television publicly.
No.
That's the first thing. Secondly, I'm going to invest in... Yeah,
he
go ahead.
admitted.
He admitted to it. He said that he had set a pre-bid meeting with 3 contractors, and they talked about a negotiated price. And then those 3 contractors were the only ones that got the contracts. And he put the bids out for everybody else a couple days after he had the meeting with these contractors.
So it was already a done deal.
Already done deal. And he admitted to having a negotiated price. And when they asked him, do you think it was collusion? He said, I don't think it was. You don't know?
Okay.
And you a former prosecutor? You don't know. Now he's trying to sit up here and talk about it as a pilot program. Well, how you going to have a pilot program to break the law? What's next? We going to have a pilot program to rob a bank? You have a pilot program for Grand Theft Auto? Huh, Skeeter?
Hey, man, I do the comedy, right?
I'm just saying, huh? This is ridiculous. This is absolutely absurd. I mean, and listen, we got Kwame Kilpatrick who in jail for 28 years.
28 years.
For doing the same thing. And his father said that everything they learned from Mike Duggan.
Wow.
So, that's the first thing I can say. Second thing, we want to invest in the neighborhoods. We want to put our people back to work, rebuilding our roads, rebuilding our infrastructure, tearing down these abandoned buildings by hand so we can put our young men back to work. We want to take all the money that we have, the home funds, the Hope 6 funds, money for housing. We want to take new market tax credits as money that is going to help small businesses be able to develop in poor areas. We want to take that money. We also want to make sure that we stop the racist redlining in terms of auto insurance.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, man, it's $5,000 a year on average. How you gonna be the mayor of the blackest city in America, and you standing with the NAACP and Wendell Anthony, and y'all go all the way up there to Lansing, and you have an anti-redlining plan with no anti-redlining language in it.
Okay, we are going to have to pick up.
Yeah.
We may have to do a number 2
we're
right
doing
here.
a show, man.
Because right
he
now,
never got two things supposed to go together. He got Kool-Aid but no sugar.
Wow.
You know what I'm talking about?
Brother, thank you so much for taking your time out. I hope we get an opportunity to finish this discussion because we're out of time right now. But I appreciate you so much.
Remember to vote Coleman Young for mayor.
When is the election?
November 7th.
November 7th. You heard it right here. Coleman A. Young II, ladies and gentlemen.